Hey there, Manifestor. You were born into a generator world and likely conditioned from very early on to operate like a generator, even though that's not your design. I'm Karen McMullen. Welcome to my channel, and today's video all about the conditioning that manifestors undergo to be like generators. When we're looking to understand a manifestor, it's important to recognize what a manifestor is not. And a manifestor is not a generator, meaning that the manifestor doesn't have a defined sacral center. There are four main ways that the manifestor can be conditioned to be like a generator. One, manifestors are conditioned to work like generators. The sacral center is what makes a generator, and 70% of the planet are this generator aura type, which means that that defined sacral is really a life force that resonates with certain things. So a generator will resonate with something and then have lots of energy for it, and it's life force that regenerates. So when a generator is using their energy well, they get more and more energy to go until they're exhausted, and then they just rest and they do it all again the next day. So they're really here to work, to procreate, and work out after work and do the groceries, everything of daily life, the humdrum of go, go, go. That's all generator world. The generator can sustain that kind of activity because of the regenerative properties of the sacral center. In contrast, the manifestor with the undefined sacral is still here to do. Manifestors tend to be very active and doing oriented, but it's not work in the way that we typically think of it as the ongoing slog. The manifestor is better designed to work in really concentrated spurts with periods of rest. How the doing shows up for you as a manifestor is going to really vary depending on your chart. However, it's important to acknowledge your rhythm of how you like to do and not try to keep up with the way that the generator is a doer in a different way.
So conditioning. The world that we live in is all about the generators. And I've come to understand that because I used to live my life like a generator many, many years ago. In my 30s, I'm 56 today. I have to remember how old I am. Anyway, before in my 30s, I lived like a generator. And because I lived like a generator, I burned myself out. And I not only live like a generator just that one time, but many times it's because we're trying to be like the rest of the world. And we're not supposed to be like the rest of the world. And so today, because I no longer live that way, I follow the energy of my body, of my field. And I don't necessarily have to sleep like a generator does or work hard like a generator, but my mission is to follow my energy at any given moment. And if I have the energy to get a piece of work done, then it's like, I'm like, goody, let me do this. Well, I have the energy for it, right? And the focus is there. There are other times where it's like, no, it's time to rest. Because the truth is that a manifestor runs off of its own energy.
The manifestor is going to tend to not want to work in the same way that a generator would want to work. The manifestor is more likely to want to be the boss. And historically, the manifestors were the rulers. They were the kings and the queens that had their servants and their kingdom of peons to do everything. And so that's kind of the legacy that they're used to. And now the times are changed, and the projectors are here to be the new leaders. And so the manifester just kind of doesn't fit in the big scheme in the same way. The manifester is likely to have a rebellious resistance against that conditioning that's wanting them to just become a worker bee like everybody else. And so if you have felt that rub of not wanting to be a worker bee, well, you aren't a worker bee, and honor that about yourself. Know that you are, well suited to doing, but doing in more concentrated periods and getting things done at your own rhythm.
Especially because we don't have the generator energy. So it's like, I mean, I could say I'm envious of generators. The truth is I'm not envious, but I am intrigued with them, of having all this energy just to do, go, go, go. Like I'm fascinated with that. And it's just not my way of being. My day is not a go, 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 go. It's a flow. It's like, I mean, I used to be more generator, like, for sure. And I used to, my mom used to say, you're always just so busy, so busy. And, I felt like I was kind of imitating her. She's a manifesting generator. And yet it took me a while that when I would slow down and stop and like not do anything for a while or whatever, it took me a while to not feel guilty about that. I used to feel like it was wrong, that I shouldn't, that I should just keep going, going, going. So either I would A, keep going, going anyway, or B, I would slow down to what actually is my true nature, but I would do it feeling guilty or like I shouldn't. So yeah, I was definitely in conflict with that, for sure. Actually, I would slip away to take my down break time, which is, manifestors are not meant to just work, work, work and go, go, go. So I would create the appearance sometimes as if I was doing that, but then I would sneak away and go rest or go read or go chill or go for a walk and say I was actually working when I wasn't, like that kind of thing. So I used to I forgot about that. So yeah, now I don't. Now I just take it. No apologies.
I want to say another thing. I run shamanic retreats. And it's funny, really interesting, because I do run people's human design, so I understand who I'm working with. Even though I don't do the whole comprehensive thing of understanding a chart, where do they fit in the scheme of things? What kind of aura type am I dealing with? And so I find it very interesting that when the generator students go off and they're busy, 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 I've come to a place of letting them be generators and letting them be busy and not trying to fit them in my bubble of, oh, well, we don't do that. And I just kind of nod and I kind of giggle to myself, that's the generator. You got to let them go do. I don't have the same kind of energy they have.
2, manifestors are conditioned to be open and enveloping like generators. So the manifestor aura is closed and repelling, and the generator aura is open and enveloping. So as you can see, these auras really couldn't be more opposite. As women especially, we are very much conditioned to be the typical generator, which would be open, enveloping, warm, tender, to be easy to be close with, sweet, all of those things. And the manifestor woman, her aura is, regardless of her personality, she could have a very sweet, kind personality, but her aura is going to be sending the message like, you can't get close to me. I'm closed. Like, my aura is closed. And so I think that can be a real challenge for manifestor women especially, to reconcile the cultural conditioning of what it should be to be a woman with the reality of having a closed, repelling aura.
Also, as a young person, my friends always had boyfriends or love interests, and I never did. All throughout high school and through most of college, I never had boys really pursue me. There were boys that I knew were interested in me, and I could tell, by the way that they behaved around me, but they never made the steps to get close to me like the boys that my friends were involved with did. And so I always felt like, is there something wrong with me? You know, am I ugly? Am I not smart enough? Am I not funny enough? And it wasn't any of those things. It was that, you know, that young boys who are already, you know, easy to spook, I was, you know, feeling this kind of repelling aura telling them, no, don't come close, that was preventing them from getting close to me. And so as a young person, starting when I was a teenager, the only way that I could get physically intimate with boys was to go to parties and get really drunk. And then I had the courage that I needed to pass that line. But otherwise, sober, I felt strong enough to be able to take that first step because of this really intense fear of rejection.
There is a certain amount of education or just awareness that can help make it easier for people to understand why they might not immediately feel that you love them as much or that you're as close with them as they would feel with a generator who has this open and enveloping aura. 3, manifestors are conditioned to manifest like generators.
When I first got introduced to it, I didn't understand what a manifestor was. I just thought, oh, I'm supposed to manifest, really? And then I started reading about it. It's like, oh, it's my aura. Because everybody thinks that when they look at this, it's like, oh, well, I'm a manifestor too. It's like, you don't understand what that really means in terms of human design.
Everyone wants to say, oh, I'm a great manifestor. I manifest, yeah. But actually, generators really do manifest because everything just comes to them.
Everybody manifests. It's just how we manifest.
How, yes. Yeah.
So the term manifestor, I guess it can be a little deceiving.
Yes.
So what they're talking about is our bubble. I guess the best way I can describe it, our aura type.
Manifestors can witness the generators around them attracting love, you know, without doing anything, just meeting the person of their dreams or having, you know, the job fall on their lap and really having things come to them. And so a manifestor could look at that without knowing that they're a manifestor and think, oh, well, I can do the same thing. You know, things are going to work out for me if I just wait. And that's not how the manifestor creates in life. The manifestor isn't here to wait for things to come to them. They don't need to wait for a sign. As I mentioned in the video about initiating and making an impact, which I'll put the link to up there, the manifestor really does need to go after what they want because their aura is not attracting to them the things that are right for them in the way that the generator aura is attracting to them. The manifestor, in contrast, has to actively go after what they want in life.
As a manifestor, it's not an easy place to be because we go against the grain so much. We don't mean to, but there's places we just can't seem to fit in, or I'll speak for myself, that I can't seem to fit in or feel comfortable with or like that. So whenever I hear people say, excuse me, that they're envious, it surprises me because I'm not, it just surprises me. That's all. Because they don't, I guess it's in part because they don't know that the journey of the manifestor is not the easiest one in terms of living in this world as a manifestor. I mean, I know we all have our own stuff, of course, we all do. But our place in the world can be awkward.
The 4th way that manifestors get conditioned by generators is just by being always around generator auras and running on the amplification of the sacral energy, which can make a manifestor less easily able to discern their energetic boundaries and when they have had enough and when they need to rest. So learning to withdraw from the sacral energy and come back into your own aura and rejuvenate on your own is an important deconditioning lesson for the manifestor.
I don't run off of other people's energy, and to be quite honest, I never have run off of other people's energies. I might have tried to do it, and all it did was give me burnout. But when I began to understand myself, this is probably was being developed in myself as a teenager, or 18-year-olds in college, understanding that everybody else wants to drink coffee to stay up to study. And I tried that and it didn't work for me. What it got me was a lot of hyperness and not being able to do work because that wasn't my way. That didn't work for my biorhythms. And so when I really began to understand that I need to follow my own biorhythms, and when everybody's trying to stay up late at night to work, it's my time to go to sleep and maybe wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and study. And that's what I used to do. And when I did it that way, it worked for me. And so even today, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I still have to listen to what works for me. I have to follow my energies.
This includes sleeping alone and taking time before bed to wind down and release the sacral energy that you've taken in throughout the day and de-escalate your energy so that you can actually get tired.
Sleeping alone in my own aura is absolute bliss. And it's not been until the last few years that I had truly discovered the benefits of that and the requirement for this refueling. And I've really noticed over the years how sleeping in my own aura has assisted in the resetting of certain points in my nervous system, and it allows me to go to sleep in a state of energetic silence without having that clutter, that white noise of someone else's sacral, let alone other centers that are defined. And it also allows me to wake up in that silence. And in that energetic silence, it's as though I can define more clearly for myself where my anger is, where my peace is, where my clarity is, where my next steps need to be.
So I'd be curious to know how you feel that you have been conditioned by generators. So if you feel like commenting, I do enjoy responding to comments below. And if you like this video today and want to stay in tune for the next video in the series, then go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I am so grateful for you for spending this time with me. And again, I do channel as well, so you can watch some of the videos on my channel where I share channel messages about the current global grand reorganization that we are facing on this planet right now. And until I see you next time, thanks again for watching. Bye. Take care.